This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're here for a media day ahead of a March 26th card live on Sky Sports, boxer card. A big change to the card as well in the main event. Richard Riakporhe, so he was fighting Tersh in a really good fight, final eliminator for the WBA. He now goes in against Dion Juma, which is better really for the British perspective and the fans, but obviously a disappointment not getting that final eliminator, Ben.
We've had so many problems on this show. I was just saying to Danny, obviously Fabio Turchi, Mikhail Lawal was meant to fight Dion Juma, and then it just became obvious. It was two cruiserweights came out, and we had to speak to Richard and ask him to take the fight, really, ask him to headline the show and keep headlining the show. Dion Juma is tough. He's been avoided for a long time by a lot of cruiserweights, and so getting Richard to take this was obviously it shows a lot about him. It's almost a bit of a lose-lose if we're honest. He's expected to beat him, but we know Dion is extremely tough. He's unbeaten, he's a southpaw, he's tricky, he's back. He only fought 2 weeks ago, so he's got the ring rust off. And since we announced it, as you said, in the British sport, this is a much bigger deal, and the tickets since we announced that rather than Turchi have gone crazy. And I think, yes, Richard's career in terms of towards world titles would have been better served by Turchi, but you know, from a popularity point of view and the amount of people that will watch this fight now, I think it's a great fight for British fans. It's two London guys. It reminds me a bit of Chamberlain Okoli, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, as you said, it might affect your business plans with Richard Riakporhe, but Sky's kind of mantra in February was making big British clashes, and we've got another one on March 26th. Just run me through the card as well. Your new signing, Dan Aziz, on the bill.
Yeah, so Mikhail went, so it meant that we had to sort of change the whole card. Dan Aziz now comes in. He's actually going to fight Matthew Tinker, who is an unbeaten light heavyweight that actually beat him in the amateurs. He trains out in New York. He struggled for opportunities over here, but again, Dan wanted another test. So two all-British unbeaten affairs at the top of the bill, and then Adam Azim steps up. He's going to fight Conor Marsden, who's the current Southern Area champ, in his third fight at 19 years old. So I think says a lot about him and where he's going to go. Caroline Dubois comes out. We have our debuts of Chris Congo and Zach Chelly, and Joe Pigford's on the card. The English welterweight titles on there, and we're trying to, I think we've had some big main events, and now we want to make sure we've got some seriously competitive cards now, and I think there's 50-50s throughout it. I think the Riakporhe fight's the ones that fans are excited about. I think people will be excited about Dan Aziz's tests as well, and then seeing Adam Azim step up, as I say, in his third fight. It's going to be a big card in London on March 26th, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, tune in to Sky Sports March 26th, or even better, buy your ticket at Wembley Arena. Ben, as you alluded to, a strong month, a very strong month in February for Sky Sports. When you look back on it, 1.1 million views for Eubank Jr. and Williams, 500k plus pay-per-view buys for Khan Brook, and 900,000 views for Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. I mean, you must be over the moon for that.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, people forget our first show was October the 2nd, so if you think about the progression in that time, I mean, in terms of signings, in terms of box office, in terms of fight nights, it has been incredible. We're obviously working on things. We've got fighters that have just signed. We can't throw them into crazy tests from the beginning, but one thing we wanted was big British fights on Sky Sports main event, and Eubank Williams was a huge success. Khan Brook was a huge success, as you say, and then Taylor-Catterall, other than the judging, was a massive night for us, and yeah, it's been a crazy month. We have an amazing year coming up as well, and hopefully just the start. And as I say, it's very early days. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We feel like we're ahead of where we thought we would be, if we're honest. And but we've got some exciting plans as well coming up.
Ben, that was three of the best kind of main events in terms of domestic clashes I've seen in a long time, and they're all in 1 month. But as you know, boxing fans, they're never fully happy. There was criticism sometimes about the undercards of those. Now, I know the answer to this because I know how the budgets work for main events, and the stronger the main event, the less you're going to put into an undercard. So could you just kind of respond to fans' criticism of the undercards?
I mean, it's not just that. It's not just a budget issue. Of course, when you invest in huge amounts into a main event, it makes it more difficult. But also, our fighters, we signed them all on October the 2nd. We can't chuck them into life or death matches straight away. But also, we had a lot of injuries. I mean, for me, Eubank Williams had Antwi Walker on there, had Clarissa Shields on there. It was for me, it was pretty high quality card. Khan Brook, Fraser's injury. Fraser's opponent got injured. There was a lot of messing around. Hassan Azim suddenly ended up at 9 o'clock because he was a floater, and sometimes these things happen. And as I say, Tasha still won a world title on that card. Brad Ray was in a good fight, and I think sometimes opponents get dealt with quicker, and Brad Ray's was meant to be a competitive fight, so was Tasha Jonas's. The thing is, they performed really well and had knockouts early in the rounds. And in Glasgow again, that one, the budget was constrained, and we're sort of in this transitional period, as I say, where we're building fighters up. And I think from here on in, you're going to start to see extremely competitive cards. I think, as I say, we are still on a journey. Like people expect, people don't remember where Sky Sports Boxing was in the summer of last year. People talking about where it was it dead? Was it, what were they doing? What were they going to continue? Were they going to reinvest? We've done all that. We've put on huge events already. We've signed a huge amount of talented fighters, and we're now competing with the very best. And yes, we can always do better, and yes, we'll always look to improve the cards. And I think you're going to see that now. But I would ask people to be patient and actually see how far we have come in such a short period of time.
Okay, fair answer. Just want to run through some topics quickly. So since Taylor-Catterall, a lot of talk about the controversy of the result. We heard that the police are investigating the result of that fight, whatever that means. So can I just get a comment from yourself on that?
I don't know what that means, to be honest, so I can't really comment. What I would say is we're still committed into something to changing. Even the Sandy Ryan result, like the scorecards on Saturday, and Mark Leach, I know Carl Frampton had a lot to say on Friday night, and that's what needs to change. This isn't about Josh Taylor or Jack Catterall anymore. I don't want to even make it about them, because the abuse that Josh has got and things like that is disgusting. I don't want to even shed light on that anymore. Obviously, we'll do whatever we can for Jack going forward, but this is a judging issue, in my opinion. You see it in other sports. We're discussing now with Sky about how we can introduce technology, maybe judges sitting in editing suites and things like that. It has to become more transparent. It has to become a situation where the judges have to re-qualify and qualify. I've heard people saying that, and I think we're putting in plans now that we're going to be putting towards the board, and I think Robert Smith is open to ideas. He said it himself, and he needs perhaps people in our position like myself to put forward how we think fights should be judged, whether it's open scoring, whether it's transparency, whether it's technology. The whole point is about minimising wrong decisions and making sure it's certain and making sure people understand what's going on, and no one can argue with that. And we are going to make sure, we're hoping that there won't be resistance to that, and that's what needs to change, and that's what needs to develop. And obviously we saw what happened to Ian John Lewis, but that's not the end of it. This is I'm hoping this is a change for the sport. It's one that we're extremely passionate about, seriously passionate about, and one we're working extremely hard on at the moment.
Okay, good to hear. In terms of Jack Catterall, his stock obviously went to another level on that night. Are you looking to work with Jack? Have you put an offer into him?
I'd love to work with Jack. We are in the process of doing that. I think a lot of promoters would love to work with Jack as well. We had a great time promoting him. He's such a good guy. I've known him for a while. Obviously, he grew up in Manchester, and he's a big seller down in Manchester, and has worked his way up, done it the hard way, waited for his opportunity and got it. And we'd love to be part of the Jack Catterall story. We think we could do amazing things with him on Sky. But at the same time, he's going to have a lot of options, and we respect that. And there's a lot of fighters at the moment that are coming to us and coming to Sky and want to be the headline fighters on Sky and want to have that dream of becoming the next pay-per-view star. And Jack Catterall hopefully could be one of those, but we'll see. And to be honest, I just want to see him get his opportunities again and make up for what's happened to him. And I still hope that we can push for something further than what's being done currently. But I think he's got a great career ahead, and I hope he keeps his head screwed on, and I hope Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis are as hungry as ever, and if we can help them, of course we'll help.
Adam Smith told me that Brook did north of 500,000 pay-per-view buys, Ben, so just get your reaction to that. Are you delighted with that?
100%. Honestly, I had to convince so many people to do that fight. So many people were saying it was going to do 250,000, telling me that it was a busted flush, telling me it was finished. And we knew it was an amazing fight. We knew it was a story that people had followed for a long time. And I think the way we promoted it, the stories we told, the content, the 24/7 access, the entertainment, that's what people want to see, and that's what we were focused on. And you're going to see that in pay-per-views to come. We think we can tell the story better than anyone else with the Sky Machine, and as long as we get the access and the fighters and the right stories and the right fights, it's going to do extremely well. And I think when we saw the tickets sell out that quickly, we knew it was a big fight, and those numbers are huge. And you know, the amount of piracy and boxes and things there are these days as well. I mean, I know for a fact those numbers would be even bigger, but you know, it was, I think, the biggest pay-per-view outside of AJ in a long time, and so of course we're absolutely buzzing with it, and so is Kel, and so is Amir, and it was an amazing night. It was a historical night, and for us that was sort of our first box office event, and it was a great way to start.
Has Amir Khan triggered his rematch clause, yes or no?
He's not. He's definitely not going to stop fighting, regardless of what we do. Amir Khan is convinced that he had an injury. He had 10 weeks to prepare versus 6 months. He was in a new environment. He feels he made a lot of mistakes. He was very gracious in defeat on the night, and probably Kel was just a bigger, stronger guy, and it did look bleak for Amir. But you know, I can't control what he does, but he is. He's not finished yet, and whether that's with me, whether that's with another promoter, whatever, I don't know. It will be up to him, but he wants to fight on, and I don't think it'll be against Brook. I don't think so straight away. I don't know, but he's not going to stop fighting, from what I hear, and obviously I do speak to him and his team, and fair play, and as I say, I don't really feel comfortable on commenting whether he should retire or whether it's not. He's a fighter, he knows himself, and we'll see what he has to say in the next. I'm sure he'll speak about it when he feels the time is right, but right now, yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
Okay. Just quickly before we close off, outside matters of Boxer and Sky Sports, we've seen ticket demand go through the roof for Fury-Whyte. They've done 90,000. They're looking to do 100,000 if Wembley grant it. So yeah, reaction to that?
Unbelievable. Boxing is absolutely buzzing. I mean, the tickets that we're selling, even when we changed from Riyadpur to Turkey to Riyadpur Juma, the ticket sales just changed. I think people love British fights, British fighters going at it, and imagine two British guys in the heavyweight world title. That's a historic moment for British boxing, and incredible work. I'm so pleased to see that. It's amazing for the whole sport, and to do it that quickly. Frank must be over the moon, and fair play to him. And I can't wait for that fight. I think Dillian is going to surprise a lot of people. I think he's been waiting for this fight for a long time, desperate for this fight, and I think it's going to be a closer fight than people think.
Should Dillian Whyte win or lose, he's made a home at Sky Sports box office. He's been really successful in his fights on Sky pay-per-view. Whatever happens against Tyson Fury, are you going to be looking to work with Dillian Whyte?
I think that's something we'll look at after this fight. He'll be just focused on this fight, but of course, as you say, he's always been on Sky Sports box office. He's done a lot with Sky. He's got a good relationship with us, and I expect him to what he's never fought anywhere else. Like, he was meant to fight Otto Wallin, it didn't happen. He's going to have his first fight against Tyson Fury, not on Sky Sports, but I think it all depends on what happens on the night. Let's be honest, and then he could be the world heavyweight champion of the world. So he'll have a lot of options, and just wishing the best, and we'll see what happens after the fight.
And my last question, we saw a fantastic fight this weekend between Leigh Wood and Michael Conlan. Thankfully, Michael Conlan's okay, and he said that he wants to get back in the ring after a little break. His health-wise is all good, which was the main thing, but get a reaction to Leigh Wood's incredible win.
Incredible. I actually really enjoyed Michael Conlan's performance. I thought it was an absolute masterclass. I really enjoyed it, and then in the last round, I couldn't understand why he was still coming forward. If I was in the corner, I don't know what was being said, but I'd have avoided getting into any sort of too much action. But anyway, it was an amazing fight, and Leigh Wood with an incredible knockout. What a fight! And again, that is why we love the sport. I mean, we've had Taylor-Catterall, which in my opinion was a great fight as well, and then that fight was special, and that knockout and the way, I've not seen that before in yeah, fair play for Matchroom. I messaged Frank Smith, the day after. I thought it was a great fight and a great result for them and Lee as well. And I hope Michael comes back strong because he's an incredible fighter. And anyone can get caught with a shot. And I hope to see him back soon. And good to know he's safe and well. And yeah, we roll on.
Ben Shalom, thank you very much for your time here on IFL TV. Look forward to your card at Wembley Arena, March 26th, live on Sky Sports, and hopefully we get a word on Fight Week, all right?
Cheers, mate.